Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Last Tuesday, being October 21st of the year 2025, Warner Brothers Discovery officially came out to publicly announce that they are exploring a sale of the company. This comes after a myriad of reports that apparently Paramount has been trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. They've placed multiple bids on the company. Then Netflix came in, apparently trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. The worst kept secret within the industry of TV or just media in general is that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to get sold. It's a bit murky as to when or how this is going to happen and what form this is going to take place. So today in this video, I want to discuss what exactly was announced last week and what this means for the next 6 months or so, or the future of Warner Brothers Discovery. So basically, like I said, last Tuesday, October 21st, Warner Brothers Discovery came out and publicly said that they are exploring a sale of the company. In that announcement, they've acknowledged that yes, various companies have apparently unsolicited, according to Warner Brothers Discovery, come to them saying, hey, we'd like to buy your company. The Verge is reporting that these companies include Paramount, as we've know already, which there's more on them later. They include Apple, which is a company that I threw out there in my last video discussing this topic. I very much so could see Apple buying Warner Brothers Discovery. And Netflix was also in the report from The Verge as to the companies currently trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. There have also been rumblings that Comcast is involved in some capacity, although regarding Comcast, this was a company that was linked years ago to Warner Brothers Discovery when this initial merger first happened between Warner Brothers and Discovery Global. I haven't really seen as much in regards to Comcast being super heavily involved in the current negotiations, but it has been thrown out there that they are a company that you should be watching out for. But nevertheless, the reason they're coming out now to say this, in my opinion, is because I feel like Warner Brothers Discovery is only saying this because they think there's actually a possibility that a sale could happen before the split occurs next year. So timeline wise, if you guys don't know what's going on with the Warner Brothers Discovery earlier this year announced that they will be splitting companies. They will be splitting into two separate entities in the midpoint of 2026, the midpoint of next year. This is going to take the form of Warner Brothers, which is going to be your studios, your streaming, that essentially will encompass that company. So basically your Cartoon Network studios, your DC studios, your Warner Brothers Animation, your Warner Brothers Pictures, your gaming studios, plus HBO Max will all be in Warner Brothers. Then you'll have Discovery Global, which essentially will be all of the cable networks. So your Cartoon Networks, your CNNs, your TBSs, your TNTs of the world, all of those will be a separate entity in Discovery Global. The reason they were announcing this at the time was because they're exploring a sale. They know that a lot of companies have zero interest in getting into the cable business right now. So they decided, what if we split companies? We have all of our lucrative properties, all of our lucrative things we own be in the Warner Brothers umbrella, and then we'll have Discovery Global take on the majority of our debt, and they will just be our cable networks because no one cares about all that stuff. No one wants to buy that. That was very clearly what they were doing, even though that wasn't public knowledge, right? No one ever confirmed that, but just reading the tea leaves and just thinking about the situation, it's pretty clear that that's what they were trying to do. Then all of a sudden, Paramount is trying to get ahead of the game because apparently Paramount wants the entirety of Warner Brothers. They want all of the cable networks as well, and they have placed multiple bids on Warner Brothers Discovery. Apparently, according to different reports, the initial bid that they placed on Warner Brothers Discovery was going to be $20 per share of the company. I'm not sure how many shares encompass all of Warner Brothers Discovery, but it's going to be in the multi-million dollar range, if not even the billion-dollar range. Apparently, Warner Brothers Discovery said that's not good enough for us. We want more than that. So then Paramount upped their bid to $24 per share. Warner Brothers Discovery apparently once again rejected that very recently, so it is unsure right now with Paramount if they are going to place yet another bid upping the ante on it, or if another company is going to swoop in here to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. As I said before, The Verge is reporting that in addition to Paramount, Apple is currently involved. Netflix is currently involved. There's been rumblings about Comcast getting involved. There was rumblings, like 3-4 months ago that Sony was involved and interested in buying Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm sure there are even more companies that I haven't even mentioned yet, or we haven't even thought of, that are interested in buying Warner Brothers Discovery, because who would have thought that Skydance was going to buy Paramount? I mean, that kind of came out of left field, right? So there's always the possibility of something like that happening. But the fact of the matter is here, if Warner Brothers is bought by Paramount, it's going to be all of Warner Brothers Discovery as currently constructed. But if Netflix, Apple, Sony, or Comcast is a little up in the air, but for the first three, if any of those buy Warner Brothers Discovery, they are only interested in buying Warner Brothers. They only want the the studios and streaming. What happened with this announcement last week is Warner Brothers essentially is saying, hey, we received unsolicited interest in a current sale of the company. We are planning to split the company in half. We are continuing to go forward with those plans, but in the meantime, we are also exploring a sale and seeing what has the best value for our market shareholders. Of course, that's the big buzzword, market shareholders. They want to make as much money as possible. Basically, what all of this tells me, while yes, Warner Brothers Discovery has the full intent to split in the midpoint of next year, I think the fact that they're coming out publicly to say that, hey, we're exploring a sale right now, we're reevaluating what we're going to do, to me indicates one of two things. Number one, just a lack of leadership and a lack of direction within the company itself, which we've known this for a long time. This isn't news to anybody, right? We know that Warner Brothers Discovery is kind of just putting their finger up to the wind, seeing where it takes them. They don't know what they're doing. The second thing this tells me is the fact that they're announcing this now means that internally they're saying, hey, like something might actually happen here. This is getting so serious that we think we're actually going to have an acquisition happen before this split happens in mid-2026. That's what this all tells me today, is the fact that they're publicly saying that, hey, yeah, we're planning to split still in 2026, but there is the possibility that we might actually sell ourselves before that happens. To me, that indicates that internally they think this is a real possibility and that this is something that actually has a high likelihood of happening. And if I had to bet, if I had to put money on this situation, I would say that by the end of this year, before December 31st, we will have a sale of Warner Brothers Discovery that is at least agreed to in principle. I don't know which company that would end up being. Out of the companies I mentioned before, I think there's a lot of interesting options. I discussed Paramount at length in a video a long time ago, a year plus ago. I discussed Netflix at length. I discussed Sony at length. My real quick opinion on them is I think all of the companies I just mentioned, will throw an Apple into the mix as well. I think they would all be good for Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm kind of a bit, I don't want to say concerned, but the only thing with Apple is I kind of wonder, do they have the bandwidth to actually do everything that Warner Brothers Discovery is doing internally right now? Like, will they actually produce enough content of Warner Brothers Discovery to warrant buying Warner Brothers Discovery, if that makes sense? Like, obviously they want to buy this to basically bolster Apple TV Plus, but are they going to have the same level of output that Warner Brothers currently has? And are they going to even expand upon that and have an even higher level of output? Because I think that's what people want to see, is people want to see more shows from Warner Brothers Discovery, because there's a lot of properties right now that are dead that deserve to get new content in some form or fashion. And then there's a lot of new properties that people want to see come to life that Warner Brothers Discovery just hasn't been giving the green light to, because this whole industry is a mess right now. And then when it comes to Netflix and also Apple TV, the thing that I mentioned in that video regarding Netflix, and I'll leave a card up above to that if you haven't seen it, what does that mean for distribution, right? What does that mean for movies? Are we not going to have theatrical releases of films anymore? Are they going to go straight to Netflix? And the same issue would be present for Apple TV Plus. Are we not going to have theatrical releases? That would be a major hit to the movie theater industry. So there's a lot of things that are up in the air right now. There's a lot of just murkiness in terms of what direction this sale is going to take. And if this sale happens with one of the aforementioned companies, what would the fallout be from there? Would it be the entirety of Warner Brothers Discovery as currently constructed, as it's reported that Paramount wants the entirety of Warner Brothers Discovery? Or is it just going to be Warner Brothers, just the studios and streaming, as it's reported that Sony, Netflix, and Apple only want that portion of the business? In regards to Comcast, very quickly, I want to touch on them before signing off. I don't really want to see Comcast buy Warner Brothers Discovery, because I feel like it's just going to be an AT&T Warner Media situation all over again, because we already had a telecommunication company buy Warner Brothers once. It turned into Warner Media. That did not go over all that well. It ended up with the company being in a lot of debt, and AT&T decided, hey, we need money to sell cell phones. We don't have the money to do all this junk. We got to get rid of you guys. I don't think Comcast would be the greatest option out of the ones we've just mentioned, but as I said earlier in the video, there could be a company that comes completely out of left field to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. I mean, I don't know who that could be, but who even heard of Skydance before they bought Paramount, right? So let's just see what happens here. I think right now, given that we're at the end of October, I would not be shocked at all if by December 31st, we have a sale officially announced. And honestly, that's what I'm expecting to happen at this point. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery has come out publicly now to say that they are officially exploring a sale of the company? Whereas before, even when the split was first announced, they hadn't even publicly acknowledged that, yeah, we're looking at a sale. They just said, no, we're splitting for the betterment of this business. No, they've always been looking for a sale, and now this is the first time they're actually admitting to doing so. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.